Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Fairlanes Middlesex in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm Mike Zeller, with me, Joe Ryanier, and it's the men pros of the DPBA we're featuring. It's the Masters Tournament, the season-ending tournament for the men, and it's a big one.
Mike, there's a lot of excitement here. We have big scores at Fairlanes Middlesex, and it's a tournament that we all look forward to. There's $22,000 in prize money, $5,000 on top, and we have 13 bowlers left.
All right, we'll get to our first match, meet the bowlers, and get underway on Duckpin Magic right after this.
You've seen me show you the inside story about Penny Pincher's handcrafted cabinets before. About their solid wood construction, no particle board. About their 5-year warranty and drawer systems that are guaranteed for life. But now let me show you how easy they are to install.
Visit our new Penny Pincher location at 1450 Hartford Avenue, Stewart's Plaza in Johnston.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Are you looking to remodel your old kitchen but afraid you can't afford it? These are Penny Pincher cabinets. Guess how much they cost? But first, look at this. Handcrafted from solid wood. No particle board. More storage space than ever. And every Penny Pincher draw system is guaranteed for life. Factory direct savings means the cost of all this is around $1,600. For that price, you can afford to buy a kitchen large enough to get lost in.
Visit our new Penny Pincher location at 1450 Hartford Avenue, Stewart's Plaza in Johnston.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
I want to name him Charmy. No, let's call him Rambo.
When you get a new puppy or kitten, the most important decision isn't the name.
We'll call him Romeo and her Juliet.
How about Bonnie and Clyde?
It's the decision to keep your pet immunized.
Rambo's an icky name. Better than Charmy.
Vaccinations protect pets of all ages from disease.
Maybe we can compromise?
Don't compromise your pet's health. Ask your veterinarian about an appropriate vaccination schedule.
Okay, we'll call her Romeo and him Juliet.
In 32 seconds, someone will die of cardiovascular disease. When I had a heart attack, I knew it was time to change. I quit smoking, I watched my diet, I lowered my blood pressure, and I watched my weight. I was lucky. Don't wait for your first heart attack. You might not get a second chance.
To find out how you can prevent a heart attack, contact the American Heart Association.
Welcome back to Fairlanes Middlesex. Mike Sella and Joe Ryanier. We've got our 13th seeded bowler, Larry Aley, taking on the 11th seed, Mitch Lewinski. And basically, Joe, what we've done is we've taken the top 13 bowlers out of the 30 semifinalists, put them in a little bit of a different type of setup for TV purposes, but it allows a bowler who's 13th not to have to bowl 12 straight matches to get to the championship match. It allows them to get there much quicker. And we've taken the odd seeds above 5 and put them in one bracket, the even seeds above 5 and put them in the other bracket, and the winner of the two brackets will meet and then continue to advance up the ladder in a traditional form. Well, Mitch is going to be throwing a third ball. Third ball coming up for Mitch in the first frame. In steps Larry Aley. Larry has a star, signifying a Pro Tour win, and in fact, Mitch has 4 of those.
Larry shooting a 6-pin spare break, left the 6-7.
So Larry will have to go with a 3rd ball as well here in the first frame. He opens with a 9.
10-9 after 1 frame. Larry, who was 698 in comparison to the 803 for Mitch, but won 3 games, seeded 13th. And Mike, we did a show from Greenway Bowl East back in May that I guess will never be forgotten.
There's a strike.
I'm sure by many people, you and I especially, that Kenny Palmer won 8 straight games, and just an unheard of feat. But you know, I think to show you again, it points to the mental part of this game, how many consecutive wins we have had since then.
Right.
It's you know, you just couldn't win 3 games in a row for years, and now all of a sudden you have bowlers winning 5 and 6 games after Kenny won the 8 and sort of broke the barrier. I think we started believing after we won a couple games that we were supposed to lose.
And not only that, but we've had bowlers in non-televised events on the Pro Tour who have won 5 in a row, going right up the ladder from the 5th seed, and won the tournament championship. So it's something in which the top seeds certainly aren't happy about it, because they're getting knocked off in the final championship game, having to bowl only 1 game.
Duckpin Magic now moves to further action in this same match.
What mentally do you take with you? You know, you're trying, you're saying, boy, I want to be able to do this tomorrow, and I think it's very easy to get into a thinking process. And
well, very seldom we found.
Nice
oh, there's
ball.
a strike as Larry got some pins to fly around on the deck for him. Very seldom we see the top qualifier move on and do extremely well the next day. There are cases where it's happened. In fact, 2 years ago here at Middlesex, Doug Shipley won the entire tournament after posting over 1,700 in his qualifying. He was the top seed and actually won the tournament, but we don't see that all that often on the Pro Tour, where the top qualifier, after bowling 10 games the day before, comes back and is as successful as he was the first day.
well, even that tournament, and I remember it pretty well, the last game was not a high-scoring game.
117 is what he won.
Exactly,
the game.
and he had averaged 170 plus for
Up till that
15
point,
games
yeah.
prior to that. Anything we'll take, okay. Working on a strike, and this game, it's not over. Mitch has bowled well, but he's a fourth mark in the 7th frame that he's working on now, and he's going to be maybe 20 pins ahead, but Larry has his strike in frame 8.
Mitch won his 4 victories quickly during his career. You could hand me that, Joe. Will tell you that the last time that Mitch won a tournament was back at the T-Bowl in 1988.
Well, I tell you, Mitch
got into a streak early where he put a bunch of Pro Tour wins together very early in his career.
Well, the amazing thing about that was Mitch missed a lot of Pro Tours because of his job, his occupation. He just couldn't make it, and it seemed like every time Mitch Lewinski showed up, you know, he was at the pay window, and he still is that way.
Still is that way, yeah. And he doesn't even get to bowl as much as he'd like to, because his job requires some odd hours and all, but
weekends and right. Tough competitor, again, a bowler with a very basic game. If the arm comes straight back and straight forward.
He is tied for 10th on the all-time Pro Tour victory list with Shorty Diver. They both have 4. There's a strike. Likes that left-hand lane.
In the left-hand pocket.
Yeah. So Larry Aley steps in. He had a strike in the 7th, or the 8th rather, with a strike here in the 9th. He could turn things around quickly.
Well, if he just marks twice, of course he'd like to catch a strike. Not going to be 3, 5, and 10, but you're in that 9th, 10th box situation, Mike, where if he can make this.
No.
No luck.
Tough luck, yeah. And Larry wasn't even going to bowl in the tournament. Decided at the very last minute to come down. Was originally scheduled, then decided to cancel. Then he showed up last minute to bowl on the very last shift. Luckily, there were some openings, and here he is.
We had a couple guys that wish he wouldn't have showed up, namely Jim Riceberg and
yeah, that's right. Wink Bartley
and
both
Wink.
tied at $14.98 for the alternate position. They split the money there, and Wink technically served as the alternate. Look out.
They were both here this morning, I believe,
Right.
weren't they? I know.
Well, they had to be here to flip the coin to see who would officially serve as the alternate. But when there's a tie, as far as the Pro Tour is concerned, for that 31st spot, and the alternate's very important because we've seen alternates take part in the semifinal head-to-head competition. If somebody was hurt or didn't show up or was injured or whatever the case, Larry Aley will finish up here in the 10th after he marks. And basically, we flip a coin, and the two bowlers split the monies between those two positions. So,
and
in
then
this
one
case,
bowler access.
yeah, in this case, both bowlers received $200 for their effort for the weekend. Yeah, there's a 10.
132, Mike. Not going to be enough, but
No.
just couldn't put two marks together in that game.
So Mitch will finish up here, and he'll face off against Todd Turcotte. In our next match. First, Mitch will have to finish here.
Let me tell you something. It's not over.
Not after that shot.
Well, he needs 3 more of these pins. Will give him a total of 5 and 5 and 5. Well, he needs a little more than that. He needs 6 of these pins.
I think the crowd realizes that
He needs 2 more pins to win.
things turned close.
Got 126 plus the 5 that are down, 131. Larry has 132.
No, he finished it off in a big fashion. Make sure 136, 132. Mitch Lewinski will face off against Todd Turcotte when we come back.
You've seen me show you the inside story about penny pinchers' handcrafted cabinets before. About their solid wood construction, no particle board. About their 5-year warranty and drawer systems that are guaranteed for life. But now let me show you how easy they are to install.
Visit our new penny pincher location at 1450 Hartford Avenue, Stewart's Plaza in Johnston.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Are you looking to remodel your old kitchen but afraid you can't afford it? These are penny pincher cabinets. Guess how much they cost? But first, look at this. Handcrafted from solid wood. No particle board. More storage space than ever. And every penny pincher draw system is guaranteed for life. Factory direct savings means the cost of all this is around $1,600. For that price, you can afford to buy a kitchen large enough to get lost in.
Visit our new penny pincher location at 1450 Hartford Avenue, Stewart's Plaza in Johnston.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Charming. Let's call him Rambo.
When you get a new puppy or kitten, the most important decision isn't the name.
We'll call him Romeo and her Juliet.
How about Bonnie and Clyde?
It's the decision to keep your pet immunized.
Rambo's an icky name. Sort of charming.
Vaccinations protect pets of all ages from disease.
Maybe we can compromise?
Don't compromise your pet's health. Ask your veterinarian about an appropriate vaccination schedule.
Okay, we'll call her Romeo and him Juliet.
In 32 seconds, someone will die of cardiovascular disease. When I had a heart attack, I knew it was time to change. I quit smoking, I watched my diet, I lowered my blood pressure, and I watched my weight. I was lucky. Don't wait for your first heart attack. You might not get a second chance.
To find out how you can prevent a heart attack, contact the American Heart Association.
Match number 2 today on Duckpin Magic features winner of our last match, Mitch Lewinski, taking on Todd Turcotte of Glastonbury, Connecticut. Mitch is out of Baltimore, Maryland, of course. And we'll detail the tale of woe that Todd had to sing before he could even bowl today.
It's quite an obstacle.
Yeah. Mitch drops 8.
I can tell you that most pro bowlers do not like to break the 5-8. Not because they mind shooting it. It just tells you a little story about your first ball. And so many times you take that story with you as you're shooting the spare. It's just well, same way Mitch started the first game with the 10.
Todd, baby! Ready, Todd, one time, not a check, come on.
So Todd Turcotte steps in. Todd is manager and head mechanic of a bowling center up in Hartford, Connecticut, Farmington Avenue Duckpin Center. He's also a volunteer firefighter.
You're lucky.
And he is using
One more, there you go.
all kinds of borrowed equipment.
Right at it now, show me how.
You don't think he has the shoes, if we can get a shot of that, you don't think so he can distinguish what foot they go on, do you?
No,
They're not like that for that reason.
No, he usually does wear a sneaker on his right foot, his pushing foot. But here he's got a pair of house shoes, rental shoes. He's got his black, probably casual sneaker there.
Hang on!
Picked it. But Todd is using borrowed equipment and sort of a makeshift foot operation there because his car was stolen out of the parking lot of the hotel he was staying in, and all his bowling equipment was in it.
I'll tell you, one of the toughest things, you can use other bowling balls. You can put on someone else's shirt, but it's tough when you put your foot in a shoe and it just doesn't have the same characteristics as the shoe you broke in. The slide sole's different, the heel is different, and see where Todd lost one. Very seldom will you see a pro bowler pick off 3 off the corner. Quite often when they do it, they'll make it.
There, he's got it. And Joe chalks up another prediction come true.
Oh, you won, Todd.
Told him, well, you're going to have to qualify and make the ladder so you can buy a new car.
Yeah, that's a shame.
You see where he is right there? And perfect spot.
Just like throwing a strike, and you don't have to worry about the 9-10 staying, you know?
That's right. Get the hard pins out of the way early.
He wasn't on a count, so it's mentally you broke 9 and made it, and you're ready to go.
Watch out.
We watched Mitch the first game sort of dodge a bullet there in the last frame. He had 3 strikes in the first game. Had a little trouble really getting anything going as Larry Aley never made 2 marks in a row, shot 132. But Mitch was much more successful the first game in the left pocket.
Picks up the mark. Mitch had a total of 15-12 for his 10 games of qualifying. Todd was at 15-53. It was good enough for 10th highest among the 150 bowlers that participated in the tournament.
Other than the first few, you had a lot, and this pin creates that. You had a lot of grouped scores. And my feeling is the bowlers that qualified bowled well. Those of us that were watching just didn't throw the ball well. You had to create your own luck, and you had to bowl well. You had to hit your spot a lot of times, keep the ball in the pocket, and make a lot of spares.
Had a total of 12 200 games.
You see the 1-3 pocket. This time he carried the 8-pin out and has just the number 5. Hit 12 200s, Mike?
12 200, which, you know, is not an enormous amount. I think we've had more earlier in the season. I think we had 16 at one point. But they were high games. They
I
were
was gonna
225, 223, 222, 215, 214. I mean, those are impressive games.
They are. Anytime you go over into the teens, the 10s and 20s, you sit down and try to bowl 220 in duck pins, and without stringing a lot of strikes. Now, we did have a bowler 220 something, had a 6-bagger and so on and so forth. But basically, it was doubles and spares and strikes. You know, a couple doubles in a game.
Couple of 4-baggers here and there, but yeah. And we, of course, we had the 201s and the 204s, but.
Get lucky. One more, hit it. Go back.
Just the opposite. He got a little unlucky and left the 7-8. Mitch posted spares in the second and third, and of course Todd with his spare in the second frame. And there you see the swings of the games of duck pins. Todd let a ball get away and knocked the 6-9, 10 off, came back and made it. Then threw a real good ball here and left the 7-8. So you want to hit it. And he gave it a shot early in the game.
Try
Good
to
move.
slide it, yeah.
Good move. He'll pick one out and hit it. I would say he'll probably shoot to 7.
Geez, either you've seen Todd bowl a lot, or he listens real well to you.
He's got a script and he's following it. You can't get all these guys to follow the script.
So it's a 39 plus to 37 lead for Mitch Lewinski after 3 frames.
I'd say the pins owe him one, Mike. 9 break, shooting number 10.
Todd has been a frequent qualifier this year.
He's come a long way in the last 3 years, Mike. I think his duck pin game has matured to the point that he's accepting what happens and realizes his abilities and his abilities to fight back after a bad game and not let a game take him out of it.
Well, you also have to remember that he's still very young, even by any standard that you want to run at. Todd just celebrated his 21st birthday.
We had kids bowling in the last couple weeks that were 20, 18, 21 years old.
That's right,
in
the youth duck pin
youth.
team. Watch out. Geez, Mitch has got a lot of pins looking for something to hit out there. He hasn't been able to make them all connect just yet. Comes from a real bowling family, doesn't he?
Sure does. All of them. The brother, the dad, mom, they all bowled. And I think together, back as, you know, when Mitch was a teenager.
Got it. Not by much, but it counts.
That's why we like to break 9, Mike. You only have to hit a little bit of it.
3 straight marks for Mitch. Spares in the second, third, and fourth as we hit the 5th frame. Winner here will go up against Mike Steinert, 2-time winner here in the 1991 season for the Men's Pro Tour. In fact, his first 2 wins.
A bowler that's on a real high as far as confidence. Went up the ladder the last tour and just has to believe that he can beat anybody at any time. And when you believe that, you're a tough opponent. We've seen that, and you're going to see it as long as the pro bowlers are on the lanes, they're on the object, and you're just going to push it through. You know, you're going to go through the middle a few times. This, I think we found this weekend, and it's amazing that it took 1,500, 150 average to qualify for the 10 games here. How many times you really saw that? You didn't break the high hit up as many times as let's say we're used to doing. It's some of the bowlers, the pocket really shrunk, and you just didn't get away with too much. And of course, other bowlers whose ball and style was conducive to the lane conditions did real well, because the scores, if you go down to like 24th, you still have, you know, a big qualifying score.
Yep. Oh, anytime you average 150 or more for 10 games, you're doing pretty well. Oh, Todd imploring the pins to give him a break here. As he's
Like, what did I do wrong?
happy with that, yeah.
That's an unusual break with his ball and the pocket he came in. Normally, if a bowler's going to leave a split, they'll leave it the opposite of the pocket that the ball comes in, meaning like I could have understood the 5-10. Nice shot.
He's got it.
That's what you have to do.
Yep.
Put him right back in the game.
Well, remember, he just missed the 7-8 earlier as we take a look here. And his ball is moving away from that pin, so it hit it just right. But remember earlier, he went to try to slide a 7-8 and just did miss it.
Just broke off at the end.
Yeah, there's a strike.
Yeah, I would say the slide shot got the adrenaline flowing and just jacked that ball. Now, there's what I was talking about earlier, Mike, in earlier shows. Watching down, see the left knee, the hand comes right through. There you see the revs and the head pin. It just exploded into the... That's what you have to do. You've got to turn that head pin and send it into the pack. And if it jumps off because of the English on the ball or the improper angle of the turn, you're going to shoot splits. See if Mitch can answer the strike. Two-pin match, 75-73. Of course, Todd Turcotte with a strike in frame 6. Mitch shooting the number 5 for his spare in frame 6. Close game.
Mitch a lot in the 1-2 pocket, as we've seen. Whoa, slid it right side. Not happy about that.
I think when Mitch is in the 1-2, he knows he's being aggressive. He's not letting the ball float like as he did that spare shot there. He just was not. So many times I don't know what you'd call it, it's sort of aim at the spare, or you let up because you're just going to push it down the lane. You only have to hit one pin, and that's what upset. That was his expression of, why did you should throw that ball at that pin just like you're throwing a strike.
Well, that all started after Todd went spare strike, and Mitch gave a look at the scoreboard as to say, oh no, let's hope he didn't wake up at this point here.
Catch up time, right?
Yeah. And right now we do have a new leader in the match. Todd Turcotte's got 85 plus, Mitch Lewinski 83 after 6 frames.
And you got Todd on a high and Mitch on a low, and Todd working on the strike. Possibilities of a double, so a lot of things in Mitch's head right now. One of them is to lift this ball out and throw the automatic strike that we're supposed to get after we miss a single. It didn't happen. There's 3, 6, and 10 remaining. You might say to hi to Mitch's children. Got Bobby and Samantha and Derek and Lance.
You've seen at least 2 of those running around the bowling center this weekend.
9, 8, 3, and 2.
Bobby and Samantha, I think. And Todd Turcotte will step in after Mitch puts the spare on the board.
Big ball for Todd.
He's got it.
You could almost feel that coming, Mike. When he made the split, it just it changes your attitude. And here again, you're going to see one of the things that all the good bowlers do: down and through the ball. If you notice, none of his body came up until the ball came out. The follow-through is what has to bring you out of your position, not you coming out of the position before the ball.
Well, if he continues to do well with this set of balls, I guess Brian Coulis, another member of the Pro Tour, will have to get a new set. In fact, he just won the set in a raffle at the Pro Tour did, yeah. So maybe Brian just give him the set and take the new one for himself, because it looks like Todd enjoys bowling with this ball.
29, a double and a rock.
Got a lot of wiggle out of the 7-pin, stayed up.
tell you, Todd has become a very seasoned young bowler.
Hang on, where'd it go?
I can tell you that 2 years ago, he had all the equipment, but he was lacking the experience and was obviously young. And to come as normally when a bowler his age gets started on, I won't say the wrong foot, but in a defensive way, that he was obviously not confident. And I, from looking at him, thought he was thinking to himself, do I really belong out here? And then to turn it around like he has is quite a tribute to him to grow up and mature as quickly as he has.
Watch out! Duckpin Magic now moves to further action in this same match.
So
151-132, 19-pin advantage for Todd Turcotte as he enters the 10th frame.
see, Mitch has not left a pin on the lane. Todd has left 2.
The wall! All right, go, Jack. Right at it now. Come on. We didn't want to shoot it. One time.
Pretty amazing that Todd is able to concentrate at all. Lost his car, all the things that were in it, making all the arrangements, trying to make sure that the police know about it so that they can report it to the insurance company, and trying to figure out who's going to give him a lift home 4 or 5 hours north to Connecticut. Ooh,
You can win one of this thing. I bet you'd have a lot of takers. They'd want to get sidetracked in Atlantic City on the way, right, Mike? It's
He's very friendly with Roy Kuchevsky Jr. is also from up that way, and I think Roy's already arranged to give him a ride home. Well,
30 to win.
Todd finishes up with a 161. And like you said, Joe, Mitch Lewinski needs 3 perfect throws.
We did a show not too long ago that took place. As a matter of fact, it was the ADT. Bang, 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 and the game was over.
Well, let's see what happens. Because Mitch is certainly capable of putting 3 up on the board here. But it's pressure situation for Mitch Lewinski because he's got to throw nothing but strikes to win this match.
Actually, there's less pressure right now than if he
had
throws.
his first
Each
2.
one has exactly, or if you
Now
just need a
it's-
spare.
Now
Right.
it's pretty much let it wail and see what happens.
No reason to hold back, right? A little hard. There was a case where he increased the speed but didn't get the revs he needed, and the ball was not quite turning when it got to the pins. Good match. You're going to shoot 140, Todd 161.
And Mike Steinert standing on deck. Picks up the mark. Same spear that Todd picked up.
Don't for a minute think that's an easy shot just because
No.
you saw it made twice.
Big finish from Mitch Lewinski. Look at that. Got the strike. 161, 152. Todd Turcotte advances. We'll have the next match for you coming up right after this.
You've seen me show you the inside story about penny pinchers' handcrafted cabinets before. About their solid wood construction, no particle board. About their 5-year warranty and drawer systems that are guaranteed for life. But now let me show you how easy they are to install.
Visit our new penny pincher location at 1450 Hartford Avenue, Stewart's Plaza in Johnston.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Are you looking to remodel your old kitchen but afraid you can't afford it? These are penny pincher cabinets. Guess how much they cost? But first, look at this. Handcrafted from solid wood. No particle board. More storage space than ever. And every penny pincher draw system is guaranteed for life. Factory direct savings means the cost of all this is around $1,600. For that price, you can afford to buy a kitchen large enough to get lost in.
Visit our new Penny Pincher location at 1450 Hartford Avenue, Stewart's Plaza in Johnston.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
I want to name him Charmy. No, let's call him Rambo.
When you get a new puppy or kitten, the most important decision isn't the name.
We'll call him Romeo and her Juliet.
How about Bonnie and Clyde?
It's the decision to keep your pet immunized.
Rambo's an icky name. Sort of than Charmy.
Vaccinations protect pets of all ages from disease.
Maybe we can compromise?
Don't compromise your pet's health. Ask your veterinarian about an appropriate vaccination schedule.
Okay, we'll call her Romeo and him Juliet.
In 32 seconds, someone will die of cardiovascular disease. When I had a heart attack, I knew it was time to change. I quit smoking, I watched my diet, I lowered my blood pressure, and I watched my weight. I was lucky. Don't wait for your first heart attack. You might not get a second chance.
To find out how you can prevent a heart attack, contact the American Heart Association.
The 1991 Fairlanes Masters event of the DPBA continues. Todd Turcotte taking on Mike Steinert for the right to move on. And they will graduate from this show to meet a winner in 2 weeks in the series. Todd Turcotte will start. Mike Steinert, the higher seeded of two bowlers, gets to make that opportunity, makes that decision, and gives Todd the opportunity to start first.
We keep trying to send a message, Mike. Some of them are getting it, and some of them prove us wrong.
Well, I know Mike has gotten it because I had this discussion yesterday that he has taken to heart some of the things you said on the show in terms of style and what to do and what not to do. And if that's the case, certainly that means Duckpin Magic has had a little bit of an effect on some of his bowling, and hopefully positively.
Well, I think I can remember doing a show with Mike in it a few years back, a couple years, I'll say, and we pointed out you could almost see him pick up momentum, and even Mike Steinert, as hard as he throws the ball, can overthrow the ball. And I think we pointed that out, that it's easy to sit back here and see it. A bowler just doesn't see it or feel it, but what I think it gives the opportunity, the bowler the opportunity to do is say, well, when I'm not breaking pins, I got to back off. Rather than fish and continue to throw it harder, it's a signal that says to you, I'm throwing the ball too hard. You go through your checklist and find out what it is you have to do to back off a little bit without aiming it or altering your style. And the guy that can do it's going to end up on the stage a lot more often than the guy that can't.
Well, he's had an outstanding season for 1991. Won 2 tournaments, signified by the 2 stars on his shirt, his first 2, and has an opportunity here obviously to put up a 3rd, which would be matching of what Jeff Piles did in 1990, winning 3 Pro Tours. And right now, as we enter the tournament, Mike is the odds-on favorite to win the Bowler of the Year award.
Well, I tell you, there are not many bowlers out there with more natural equipment than Mike Steinert takes on the approach with him. And if he can just funnel the energies and pick up the knowledge, he's going to be tough to beat for a long time. I mean, he's a young man. He's going to be hopefully throwing the ball at duck pins for many years to come. And you see a contrasting style and I think a bowler who has learned not to be intimidated by someone else's style and the speed that they throw the ball. And here you have Todd, he's been on the tour. This is his 5th year, and he's only 21 years old. So probably he and Jeff Piles, the youngest bowlers, along with I guess, who else would it be? I don't think of any. I can't think of any offhand, and especially now because we have these invitationals that we're showing, and it makes the young bowler have to make a decision early. And I think with the proper influence of other professional bowlers, I know I would tell the bowler, you stay. You're going to have a long adult life, and you stay with those youth bowlers as long as you can enjoy it and compete at that level. And we're having more of them do it, so I think we'll see less Todd Turcottes out here at 17 years old. Tough break there. 2, 4, 6 remaining.
Takes a special person to be able to get the gumption up to go up and face better competition and know it's better competition and come back week in and week out. And you're right, he has improved tremendously over the last couple of years, and he's a regular qualifier now.
Kind of like a Timex. He took his licking and kept on ticking, and it worked out for him. And
it's so many. Just a matter of time before he cracks through and wins one, and then when he figures out how to do that, it's who knows what's going to happen.
I think he knows how. I really if you watch his performances, Mike, I think he knows how to win, and he just needs a little break here or there. He needs to win a game on Sunday that perhaps he lost, the Sunday a month before, that to no fault of his own. Sometimes you just get beat. And I think that's what he's learning, to go ahead and bowl your game, and if you get beat, accept that beating, and keep bowling your game. And when you run into somebody like Mike Steinert, who won the last tour, as you mentioned, and you'll see that, watch the knee bend, the good lift, and I mean, it speaks for itself.
Well, he's doing that quite a bit during the course of the last 3 or 4 months. 16.08 was his qualifying score, so that's over a 160 average for the 10 games of qualifying.
Very few bowlers shoot 1,600 for 10 in a lifetime, Mike. I'm sure you can spit them out over the years you've been involved with us. And, of course, we've gone to the 8-game format in most of our tours, so it's sort of relating it more now to, 1,300, I guess, for 8, and there are very few of those.
66 for Mike Steinert after 4. Todd Turcotte doesn't want to fall too far behind here.
He's about as far behind as he wants to get right now. As you just, Mike Steinert is another one, a young bowler who has learned not to beat himself. Pretty ball. Pretty ball. Got a little lift on that ball. And here you see Todd Turcotte. See now, that's about as far as you're going to see Todd get a ball out. They kept it on line. He got it out with increase in the speed, and the result was a strike in the 4th frame, and an opportunity that he's going to have to take advantage of. 30 down, working on a strike.
Double here would turn the match around.
Whoa! Come back! All right, horse. Right at it now. Come on.
1, 2, 4 remaining, and
certainly a makeable spare here for Todd. And he wants to put it up on the board so he can get the count, plus be working on a mark as Mike Steinert is open in the 4th frame.
Hang on!
All that shot for the pro bowler, all you're really doing is getting over the fact that you didn't hit the head pin with the first ball. And once you erase that and just come back with a good ball, you take advantage of it so many times. And I know that I was guilty of it. I would, you take the first ball back up to the line instead of just taking advantage of the luck. And you see Todd put a little pressure on him, and Mike almost pushed it through the middle. A little differently delivered ball than what we saw the first 4 frames.
Yeah, I think that's the case where he gets the ball out maybe perhaps a little too much.
Well, you get a little careful, and you kind of stuff it out there instead of it being a free wheel. The bowler that throws the ball like Mike Steinert, which is a little bit right to left turn, as did Mitch Lewinski, what we found here was that you could score well with that ball. The pins were very receptive to that ball, but if you made a mistake right, it stayed right. You just couldn't get it back. There again, he almost made the mistake, right? He threw what I call it's a sailor. It takes off, never really grips the lane and comes back into the pocket. And that, in Mike Steinert's case, comes from him sort of jacking it up a little bit.
You got the spare there. Seemed to take a little extra time to deliver that one. Todd Turcotte working on a mark, give him the 5th. I'll tell you what, the other thing about Todd is that no matter how far behind he may be, there's no telling during the course of the match when he's going to break out of it himself and find his location. We've seen it happen before. We've seen it on TV. We've seen it off TV where he's down early in the match and comes back.
Well, he's come back just here to 4th, 5th, and 6th frames. He makes this, he's within 10, and in the 3rd frame you would have said send the next the next bowler up. But I know you and I have learned, especially at Fairlanes Middlesex, they set some pretty exciting stages for us here, Mike.
That's you, baby!
A pair of young warriors, Mike, and they're just not going to be denied. If you're going to beat me, you're going to have to beat me. And I'm pretty impressed when I see this happen, and you have a couple young ones like this stepping up doing battle. 10 pins, 85 plus for Mike Steinert in the 6th, 75 for Todd. And being 10 behind here, you want to make your mark. You want to throw a good ball, make your mark, let the other guy walk up there thinking you already have yours.
Good ball.
I tell you what, Todd's freewheeling it pretty good. He's got it. He's jacked it up a little bit, but he also has the proper turn. He has the ball out on the lane 2 or 3 feet, which is as far as you're going to see Todd put the ball out. And he's playing. He's got both pockets. He's got a big pocket down there. And the last 3 frames, he just 3 first balls just didn't trip a pin over, but he had 3 singles and strike in the 4th. So he's served notice to Mike Steinert that the game is more than 3 frames long.
Yep. 4th straight mark, 3rd straight spare for Todd Turcotte.
That's bouncing back. I tell you, when you have 26 in the 3rd and your opponent's spare strike, and the caliber of Mike Steinert, and
easy to give up there and just say, okay, well, it wasn't my game here.
Well, you have this tendency to think that the other guy's going to shoot 180 every game. And Mike's got it jacked up a little bit. Todd's got his attention, and this could turn out to be a pretty exciting game.
Well, he counts 8 on the mark.
Very makeable. We watched it made twice. A very makeable shot for a right-handed bowler.
He's got it. Oh, we've seen 3 made in this show alone for what is ordinarily a difficult shot for the average bowler.
It's a 1 in 5, even for the pro. We've seen it like 3 out of 4, 3 out of 5. So
big mark in the match for Mike Steinert.
And Mike's only waiting for a ball to come back on 6. You just hate to start the frame without knowing that your second ball's back. Of course, that ball, unfortunately, when he made the 5-7, the ball deflected to the right corner, and the mechanism to send the ball back in the left corner, so it probably got lost in the pit. There we go.
All right, Mike Steinert.
They're all big balls, Mike.
In the 8th frame. Oh, he knew. See,
it's a little upsetting when you make a split like that and you get yourself hyped up, and but you know he really over the last 3 frames has eased into that chop.
Yeah.
He let it get a little bit to the right, and then it broke the 5-7 with what I call the slider, and then that one got away. And you're going to have a turn of events here right now, Mike. It's Todd can take the lead. He's going to have to make a mark. Big ball here.
Yep, he's filling spare.
See if we can get a good shot of where the ball lands on the lane. If he gets the ball out 2 to 3 feet, I'm saying it's going to be good results. Good concentration.
There's it.
Got it out. It was out there about 2 feet, and you see the pin action.
Todd Turcotte storming from behind. And we'll take a look again.
See where that hand's at the point of release? All the fingers were under the ball. There's the pin that he shot 2 out of the last 3 frames for a spare. The number 5, that time he had the extra revolution to get the pin off the wall. And I catch a lot of digs about the word revolution, but that's what it's all about, Mike. I don't know how else to describe it.
5 straight marks for Todd Turcotte as he enters the 9th.
Foundation frame in a close game.
Why not? One more! Hit it!
Why not, said somebody. Well,
that's Dennis Ponce.
Yeah.
The eternal rooter.
If they had professional rooters, Dennis would be at the top of the game.
Well, you know, Dennis just likes to see good bowling. He really does. He'll root for anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, he bowls with Todd. Todd's from up in his area, but I've heard Dennis root for people from Richmond, Virginia. Relax, Dennis. He had half of that.
6 marks in a row as Todd Turcotte storms into the lead.
Well, we're in that situation again. I think every match we've had for the last 3 weeks has come down to where the 9th and 10th frames at least lend the opportunity to change things around. Mike Steinert needs 2 marks. He kicked that out, but he has jacked that ball up a little bit, Mike. It's 2 mile an hour or half, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's ripping through there. Not
well, the ball's getting off the lane. It's not getting the chance to dig. It's not on the lane soon enough. But see, there was a good ball. Of course, he was shooting at a single.
So that's one portion of his game that's really improved is the spare shooting.
Well, it come with confidence. He's won. There's nothing down there he can't make, Mike. And I'll tell you what people really don't realize, and that's the bowler that throws the strikes is usually a very high percentage spare shooter. First ball, 10th frame. He did it again. Okay, 136. Todd Turcotte, 134 plus.
And looks like Todd, failing some kind of complete catastrophe on his part in this frame, will move on. We'll see him bowl again in a couple of weeks.
Any combination of 2, and there it is. Going for his 7th mark in a row, the number 5 pin again. What a game he'd had. He kicked that 5 pin out like 3 times out of the last 4 spares.
You mentioned he was open the first 3 frames. He's gone strike, spare, 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 strike, and then spare.
And they've all, well, kind of after the fact, but they were all singles too.
Yeah.
4 spares of 5, 6, 7th, and 8th frames, and then a single pin here in the 10th, and then 153. Good enough.
And that's after trailing by 30 pins after the first 3 frames. So Todd Turcotte comes on, wins 2. He'll be back in a couple of weeks. We'll be back in just a moment to wrap things up for this week. Don't go away.
You've seen me show you the inside story about penny pinchers' handcrafted cabinets before. About their solid wood construction, no particle board. About their 5-year warranty and drawer systems that are guaranteed for life. But now let me show you how easy they are to install.
Visit our new Penny Pincher location at 1450 Hartford Avenue, Stewart's Plaza in Johnston.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Are you looking to remodel your old kitchen but afraid you can't afford it? These are penny pincher cabinets. Guess how much they cost? But first, look at this. Handcrafted from solid wood. No particle board. more storage space than ever. And every penny pincher draw system is guaranteed for life. Factory direct savings means the cost of all this is around $1,600. For that price, you can afford to buy a kitchen large enough to get lost in.
Visit our new Penny Pincher location at 1450 Hartford Avenue, Stewart's Plaza in Johnston.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
I want to name him Tommy. No, let's call him Rambo.
When you get a new puppy or kitten, the most important decision isn't the name.
We'll call him Romeo and her Juliet.
How about Bonnie and Clyde?
It's the decision to keep your pet immunized.
Rambo's an icky name. Sort of been charming.
Vaccinations protect pets of all ages from disease.
Maybe we can compromise?
Don't compromise your pet's health. Ask your veterinarian about an appropriate vaccination schedule.
Okay, we'll call her Romeo and him Juliet.
In 32 seconds, someone will die of cardiovascular disease. When I had a heart attack, I knew it was time to change. I quit smoking, I watched my diet, I lowered my blood pressure, and I watched my weight. I was lucky. Don't wait for your first heart attack. You might not get a second chance.
To find out how you can prevent a heart attack, contact the American Heart Association.
Welcome back to Fairlanes Middlesex. I'm Mike Sella with Joe Ryanier, and Todd Turcotte will advance. He comes back a week from next week. We hope to see you then. We've got 4 new bowlers as we continue to climb the ladder in this 1991 Fairlanes Masters event on the Duckpin Pro Tour. We'll see you again next time on Duckpin Magic.